And we're still here at the COP27 where US President Joe Biden gave his speech to the conference, pledging some of the important pledges, giving climax to the successes and achievements made during the COP. After this important session, we had the pleasure of having this interview with His Excellency Jordanian Minister of Environment, Dr. Moawia Radida. Thank you so much for being with us, sir.
Thank you very much, Mona, for having me, and it's a pleasure being on Nile TV.
The pleasure is all ours. And if I may ask you of how you see the climate of this climate change conference.
Well, first of all, let me greatly commend Egypt and the leadership of Egypt, President Sisi, on hosting this global gathering at COP27. It is very clear that Egypt has put a great deal of effort in convening the world at Sharm el-Sheikh. The organization of the conference is exemplary. It is, and we all hope that it will really bear the fruits that we are looking for. This is the implementation COP, and it's very important on the heels of the Glasgow COP, which was the finance COP. Now that the world should come together and really put forward the tools needed to implement the solutions that we all know are sorely needed to be put in place. So it's also a proud moment for us in this region to have Egypt hosting this very significant and timely gathering of the world leaders. And as you have seen, Jordan was very actively involved in the COP. His Majesty King Abdullah II gave a very important speech. The Crown Prince also delivered a speech at the Green Middle East Summit. So Jordan is very supportive of Egypt hosting this COP, and we look forward to what comes out of it as well.
Your Excellency, this summit is not just an Egyptian one, but it comes in or Egypt is presenting here Africa and the Arab world, the Middle East. How significant is this summit, particularly for the Middle East, when we speak in terms of the climate change and the threat that is really confronted by the Arab world and the region?
You probably have heard this many times. The Middle East is a climate hotspot. We are looking at our region being impacted by climate change at a greater pace and than the rest of the world. So we're seeing the dry areas getting drier, the wet areas are getting wetter, and we're seeing also the threat of desertification. Egypt, as is the case in Jordan, water is very important to both countries. In Jordan, it is a critical issue. Jordan is almost the second poorest country in the world in water, and it also has been compounded by the impact of waves of refugees. That's why Jordan put forward an initiative called the Climate Refugee Nexus to shed the light on countries such as Jordan that are bearing the brunt of climate change and the increasing population. So for Egypt to be hosting this, representing Africa and the Arab world, is something that is very important for our region and is very important for Jordan, and for sure has the backing of the entire region.
Finally here, Your Excellency, we've just heard the statements of the US President in Egypt here, and I guess that it gave a kind of climax to the atmosphere. How did you read the statements of President Biden, particularly of what concerns working together for the sake of the welfare of the whole world?
I think President Biden's speech tonight was a very important speech, and it came at a time where the U.S. has stepped up its efforts, rejoining the Paris Agreement. Of course, that's a very important thing, and at the same time putting forward commitments within the U.S. and outside the U.S. To support dealing with this and facing up to the challenge of climate change, not only on a national level, but also looking abroad and how the U.S. can play a vital role and a leadership role in providing the tools and the support that the rest of the world needs in terms of technical and financial support. The President spoke today about the methane pledge that came out in Glasgow, reducing methane by 30% by 2030. And it's a very important pledge that Jordan is part of. And at the same time, he talked about restoring our nature as an important element in reducing or sequestering the carbon dioxide and the other gases that cause global warming. And he spoke about the green shipping initiative as well. So he mentioned a few things, and he also reiterated his support for Egypt in the significant contribution to change Egypt's energy mix. So all in all, it was an important speech, and I think it gathered up the opinions again, and you've seen the energy in the crowd as well. So it is great to hear this tone and this energy, and we look also for the implementation of these promises and to turn them into commitments.
Very much indeed, and all the world's eyes are really looking into this important summit, and our hopes are hanged here. Your Excellency, Minister of Environment, the Jordanian Minister of Environment, Dr. Moawia Radida, we thank you so much for being with us on Nile TV.
Thank you, Mana. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it.